We'll continue with our poem Elegy Written in a Country Churchyard from stanza 20. Yet even these bones from insult to protect, some frail memorial still erected nigh, with uncouth rhymes and shapeless sculpture decked, implores the passing tribute of a sigh. The poet says that even though these poor villagers don't have any big or fancy monuments or trophies made on their graves, they still, or at least still, have some frail or flimsy memorials nearby, just to protect their remains from the insult of having people enjoying playing cricket on their graves. Their flimsy memorials aren't made of some fancy marble, they are made of a rough or shapeless sculpture or ornament. They are not decked up, they are not beautified, and they are decorated with crude or uncouth poetry. Even though the memorials aren't fancy, they still inspire some passers by to pause and take a look and remember them. Their name their ears spelt by the unlettered muse, the place of fame and elegy supply, and many a holy text around she strews that teach the rustic moralist to die. The poet here says, and he is once again talking about the frail monuments that are engraved with the dead people's name and the years of their birth is and death is written on it. And even this simple inscription was clearly made by someone who was almost illiterate or unlettered. The speaker here uses irony when he says that inscription was made by a muse, because the muse is like a goddess of poetry, and how could the muse be so unlettered or illiterate? Because the inscriptions are very simple and unpoetic. These inscriptions take the place of fame and fancy elegies. She is the muse referred to in the previous line. The unlettered muse also adds to the occasional Bible verses that inspire country folks to think about death so that they'll be prepared when their time comes. For who to dumb forgetfulness a prey, this pleasing anxious being ever resigned, left the warm precincts of the cheerful day, nor cast one longing lingering look behind. After all, the speaker asks, who is going to give up? That is, resign their life. Life here means their being, which is both pleasing and anxious, or to leave the warm environment of the earth without looking behind them at what they have left behind, especially someone who, like the villagers, is going to be forgotten when he or she is dead. He is questioning. Here we can see another metaphor and some more personification. Being forgotten when you are dead is like being hunted down as the prey of a predator called forgetfulness. Finally, we get some alliteration in these lines with the repeated beginning in longing, lingering, and look. So, here the poet says that nobody wants to die and be forgotten. So, he says that it is both pleasing and anxious to leave this environment, to leave this world without looking behind at what they have left behind, especially someone who is like these villagers, who is going to be forgotten when he or she is dead. So, being forgotten is personified. When you are dead, it is like being hunted down as the prey of a predator called forgetfulness, which seems to be sound quite scary to think about that nobody would be thinking about you after you are gone.